I don't think it's a fair comparison to compare what's happening right now with millennials and Robinhood to the tech wreck of 2000. I was 30 years old in the year 2000 at the peak of the tech bubble, the internet bubble. And I remember what that day was like. Those were crazy, crazy times. And this is what people are talking about with, oh, the millennials are trading these stocks. They're being so silly. I have a good amount of friends who are millennials. They are super smart. They have kids. They own homes. They're driving nice cars. They own businesses. They're C-suite executives. This generation has really come of age. They're snapping up houses left and right. Boomers, you should thank them for buying your house, by the way. Thank a millennial today for keeping the housing market going, okay? And now they're getting a lot of credit for keeping the aggressive part of the stock market going. And then you have airlines like American Airlines, Delta Airlines. Well, you know who the airlines are, and the cruise lines and the casinos. So now they've been given credit, but in a demeaning way of saying, oh, people have been saying the millennials have moved up these stocks. Look, I don't think Robinhood traders solely and single-handedly moved up the price of American Airlines or Norwegian Cruise Lines, for example. There was simply a massive rotation out of the work from home, stay at home, and pantry stocks into the reopening phase, okay, reopening stocks, which favored cyclicals like airlines and cruise lines, REITs like, Simon Properties, for example, that owns malls, high-end malls. And it just happened to coincide with the money going into the Robinhood app and people jumping on that bandwagon. But that was a lot of institutional investors, a lot of funds were buying those stocks, a lot of investors who were not on the Robinhood app were buying these stocks or buying the exchange traded funds that invest into these stocks. So let's not say, oh, they're crazy, these millennials, they moved all their money into airline stocks and moved the whole market. No, you know what? They sniffed out an opportunity. They wrote it. They were part of it. The timing was excellent. But they didn't. If there was no Robinhood, these stocks, in my opinion, would have moved up a lot anyway. It's just because they were oversold. Okay, are you blaming millennials, by the way, for the steep sell-off in airline stocks and cruise lines? Were you only blaming them for the rise in these stocks, or are you just blaming them because you were shorting these stocks and you got pantsed when these stocks took off, and then you had to buy them to cover your shorts? And then that forced the price up even more. Let's not blame the millennials. The millennials did not move, in my opinion, American Airlines and these other tech, cyclical stocks like cruise lines and mall operators, okay, casinos. It wasn't just the millennials. It would have happened anyway, in my opinion. And then they get knocked for the $1,200 stimulus check because there are a number of them on, if you go onto Reddit, and people talking about, millennial traders, Robinhood traders saying, hey, it's free money. I might as well try to make something of it in the market. And yeah, you could read stories about people who made a couple of bucks on their $1,200 stimulus check, but then other people say, oh, that's not what the check was for. The check was for you to pay bills. Excuse me, what are you, their parents? 30-year-old millennial is an adult. And when you were 30 years old, you were entitled to do whatever the bleep you wanted to do with your money. And so are the millennials. Not every millennial is throwing all their money into the Robinhood app, but that's what we do. We paint everybody with a broad brush. So people are allowed to do what they want. If they want to trade it on an app, more power to them. If they don't want to trade it on an app, more power to them. Really though, you're going to knock them for that? What do you know what percentage of millennials who are trading in Robinhood use their stimulus check? You probably have no clue. I don't either, but I'm not going to sit here and knock people for it because I'm not in the business of knocking people for what they do with their money. It's a free country. You're allowed to do with your money what you want.